Welcome to the Built Ford Tough BCS pregame show on Fox.
I walk up to the line of scrimmage.
Shaking out the floor, man. 3 snaps, breathe.
I look to see where this pro slot.
L triple.
I think back what coach talked about all week. Hear the linebackers yell out strong, solid.
Center, Mike Ryan, 33.
Within every war, there are battles.
There are battles.
No battle,
Too small.
No inch.
No inch, not worth fighting for.
We are individuals, but we fight together.
When it comes down to it, it's me.
It's me
against him.
I will sacrifice
to win my battle.
I will dominate, my man.
It's hunt or be hunted.
I will not be the hunter.
Tonight, I'm not in the division. Tonight, the battle is ours.
Tonight, the battle is ours.
Street has turned into a sea of scarlet and gray and purple and gold as Buckeye fans and LSU Tigers fight for one of the hottest tickets in recent years. Can 1,400-yard rusher Beanie Wells help Ohio State run roughshod against the best defensive player in the country? Defensive tackle Glenn Dorsey ready to shine in the final game of his collegiate career, but it's linebacker James Laurinaitis and the Buckeyes that have the nation's #1 D. Tonight, they'll try to stop the Tigers' two-headed quarterback, Matt Flynn and Ryan Perilou. Just 80 miles from its Baton Rouge campus, #2 LSU faces #1 Ohio State in the All-State BCS National Championship. The Louisiana Superdome ready to crown a champion as we conclude the All-State BCS Bowl Bash right where it all started 6 nights ago. Hi, everybody. Welcome to New Orleans. I am Chris Rose. My tag team partner, Jimmy Johnson, still intact. And tonight, don't worry, we got 2 ball carriers to share the load, all right? Including one guy that knows both teams oh so well. He plays LSU every year in the SEC, and last year he dismantled the Ohio State Buckeyes for the national championship. 41-14 your final. Urban Meyer, I know you'd rather be playing tonight, but hopefully this is a nifty consolation prize.
I'll tell you what, a great experience for these student athletes. You forget how nice it is here, and you can talk all you want about the BCS. What a great experience for the players.
And of course, joining you tonight is one of the greatest players in Ohio State history. In fact, his coach, John Cooper, called him the hardest working player he has ever coached. He can still move. I know this video's old, but he can still move. Take my word for it. Eddie George, are you surprised you're back after last year? Emmett Smith gave you all that stuff up on the set and everything?
He did. He had a good time with me, right? But I'm glad to be back. And this guy here, he gave us nightmares, gave me a nightmare, but it's always good to be back.
It's okay to show him the ring, by the way.
No.
Go ahead. Show him how you doing.
Go ahead.
Got to give one to Emmett Smith as well.
Hey, Emmett made him do the gator chop last year.
I never saw that. I got to see that on video.
No, you won't see it.
I don't know what you'll have to do if LSU pulls off the victory tonight. Now, guys, as for the game, now before the Christmas holiday, Ohio State head coach Jim Tressel got each of his players a brand new DVD. It was a horror flick. Media bashing of the Buckeyes dating back to last year's title game loss and continuing into this December. Now, pundits saying OSU simply didn't belong here. Guess what? They are for a second straight year. However, teams playing in consecutive BCS title games, just 1 in 3. The lone win was by Florida State, which is the only squad to play in 3 straight national championship games. Now, Eddie, they have heard about it, the blowout loss, that they're too slow, that they can't play in the SEC. They've never won a bowl game against that conference. Motivating factor tonight, how much?
Oh, tremendous. First of all, how could you Did you feel good about that when you're a Buckeye? You got Woody Hayes in your office, you got the Buckeyes in your office. How could you do that? But no, last year after that loss to Florida, the first thing Ohio State did when they got back, they changed their security code going into their facility to 41-14 to the score of last year's game as a motivating factor. So it goes back to 365 a year ago from carrying all that emotion going into this game. So they'll be motivated tonight.
That's the psychological side of things. Physically, is there a speed disparity between the Big Ten and the SEC?
I think that's a myth. I think the upper-level Big Ten teams especially have just as much speed as the SEC. SEC top to bottom has more speed, not when you're talking about the top 2-3 teams in the Big Ten, though.
Hey, Urban's trying to get some more of that speed. I had to drag him to the set. He's sitting there on the telephone talking to these recruits, saying, come with me to the championship game next year. We're going to be here next year.
It's a dead period in recruiting right now. You know he's not.
He can make one phone call a week. He told me that.
I love it. You can make it at halftime. Right now we're a little busy, Coach. Now, as for LSU, their fans are in dire need of a manicure. They have no more fingernails to chew on. 6 of the Tigers' last 8 games were decided by 7 or fewer points. 2 went into triple overtime. It has been one wild ride.
32-yard attempt. There's a snap. Now it's a fake and the flip over to David, and he is going to score. Holy cow, what a play!
Throws it, that's going to be incomplete. Tigers win! Tigers win!
Flynn turns, leaves it with Scott. No! Hit at the 16! He did not get it! Victory! Kentucky! Thrown towards Demetrius Byrd. And it's come to this. Flynn throws, intercepted. It is over. Arkansas wins, and LSU's national championship aspirations are over.
I'm the head coach at LSU. I will be the head coach at LSU.
Here comes the Tiger rush. Here's the pass. It is intercepted. Seaman, touchdown!
LSU, incidentally, the first 2-loss team to play a BCS championship game. Now, how tough are they to defend against, Urban?
Well, they'll run a 2-quarterback system at you. Ohio State's strength is a front 7. And so they need to be very strong on the perimeter and almost invite LSU to run at Ohio State's strength, which is inside.
All right, one thing I hear about LSU, their head coach, he's crazy. He goes for it on 4th down. He runs trick plays. You know, how much of that really is?
I promise you, he is not crazy, and it's not risky when you're 12 for 15 on 4th down. You know, I think there's 2 factors. Number one, do you know something that's going to give you the confidence to be successful? Do you know something about that team, the way they line up, whether it's your strength or their weakness? And number 2, do you need to take the risk? Because if you're outmanned, if the other team is a superior team, you may need to take that risk. Against Joe Urban, they went for it on 4th down 5 times.
All right.
One thing from the players' perspective, they want you to go for it on 4th down. They want to have the trust of their coach.
And number 3, you got to find out how 19 and 20-year-olds deal with pressure. And for that right now, let's check in on the field with Chris Myers.
Chris, I'd call it controlled energy so far in the pregame warm-ups. Les Miles was the first guy to arrive here at the stadium. He described the bus ride over, short bus ride for the Tigers, as low-key, and he wants it that way. He told his players, look, I know we're in Louisiana, but no stargazing here in the Dome. It's not a home game. It's a bowl championship game. Health, that's a good thing for LSU that they had the layoff. Both Glenn Dorsey and Matt Flynn had excellent weeks of practice. Their trainer gives them the green light. The medical staff says we got to watch game hits and see how they respond. Chris Wells for Ohio State, healthy as well. He's been given the green light. He said he expects to carry the load in this game. And just before Ohio State ran out onto the field, Jim Tressel was alone outside the locker room, almost like an actor going over his lines before the big stage. He's very different than Les Miles, who had his LSU team watch the movie 300. It's about Sparta defying odds and courage and heroism. When Tressel was asked, he said, the last movie I went to was Jaws. He should know this is in living color and it's in HD. Chris?
Thank you, Chris. Jaws no longer in theaters, by the way. Still ahead, you're going to meet James Laurinaitis. And if you think the Butkus Award winner hits hard, wait till you meet his old man. The guy's an animal. And that's a compliment. Now, the Buckeyes receiving core was rebuilt this year. No more Ginn and Gonzalez. So it's the 2 Bryans, Robisky and Hartline, leading the aerial attack.
I'm Brian Robisky.
I'm Brian Hartline.
We are the Bryans.
For some reason, I'm better in everything. My height, my weight, looks.
He's been watching my game here for a couple of years. I think he's picked up some stuff from me.
I run better routes. I'm sorry.
I think the program says I'm taller by a couple inches.
I got better hands too. You're getting better though.
I've taught him all kind of things, but most importantly, just how to be a man.
I pull more ladies than he does, so
I'm the better looking guy. It's not even a competition.
Between the Bryans, definitely the better looking guy for sure.
You gotta ask your girl. I don't think she agrees. I gotta leave on that one.